Imagine being entirely stranded in a harsh desert, your body slowly shutting down from extreme dehydration and exhaustion. A stranger appears, walking toward you with a bottle of clear, cold water. Most would run toward it, but instead you step back. You stare at the bottle, convinced it's poisoned, pushing it away before taking a sip. While this reaction defies the logic of physical survival, it is the exact blueprint millions of people use to navigate their emotional lives. We spend years searching for someone who will truly see us, hoping for a connection that finally feels permanent. Then that person arrives, and as they get closer, a strange psychological shift begins. Distance sets in. You find yourself becoming defensive and suspicious, pulling back until emotionally unavailable. This retreat isn't driven by a change in what you want. It's the result of love triggering a deeply hidden psychological alarm system. Genuine connection reaches past surface-level attraction. It strikes at the dormant anxieties we usually keep buried. Intimacy pierces the outer layer of surface desire, illuminating an unstable inner core, the fear of being seen, and the terror of vulnerability. As connection grows, the fear of loss expands proportionally, eventually choking out the remaining emotional space. This creates a cycle where the very thing we crave most generates our strongest impulse to flee. Consider the inherent safety of isolation. When nobody loves you, rejection exists only as a theory with no actual stakes. The arrival of love changes our internal risk assessment. A block of love adds immediate value, causing the corresponding risk of loss to spike. For minds shaped by past disappointments, the massive weight of potential loss shatters the relationship's foundation, crushing hope. At this exact point, the brain completely stops looking for connection and shifts entirely into threat mitigation mode. To regain a sense of safety, the mind begins preparing for the end of the relationship before it even happens. It starts hunting for microscopic flaws in the partner and manufacturing doubts to justify pulling away behind emotional walls. These are survival tactics. They are desperate measures intended to protect the self from a perceived threat of agonizing pain. The mind treats the relationship like a hostile environment, isolating the individual behind the very defenses they built to survive. The psychological armor built to prevent loss ends up ensuring the very outcome it was designed to avoid. When these connections fail, the cause of death is rarely a lack of love. The relationship collapses because the fear of loss grew structurally stronger than the capacity to accept being loved. Fear convinces us that self-inflicted isolation is a prerequisite for safety, creating a barrier to happiness that is almost impossible to break from the outside.